So I'm just gonna do a random status check. Here's my sticks of fire. I love these guys. This is a plant that I just got from my neighbor's yard. They had these beautiful yellow flowers. You can see them over there. So I'm hoping that they'll be that big. Well, sometimes. This is my raspberry field. I'm about to replant these guys. Just grown from the mothers, which are doing pretty well. This is a Bing cherry tree. I need another cherry to help propagate it, but it's all right. These are some blackberries. These are like kind of thorny and didn't produce a whole lot this last time, so I'm going to try again. Cut them down a little bit and then transplant them, some of the other ones to a different space and see what happens. These blackberries are fucking phenomenal. They got eaten up, you can tell by the hailstorm. I got to cut all these leaves back. These are my roses, some of them. There's my lemon tree back here. Moss roses. I just planted a million lilies. Pretty sure they're lilies. They were getting trampled on by the dogs for years, and they just had a serious root system. So I just broke them all up and put them in this rock wall that I built a while ago. Here's my lavender. It's doing lavender things. Some more transplant. I put some mint somewhere in here. This is purple salvia or something like that. Put this water in a couple different areas. You can see another one there in the center. Here's my foxglove. I love that. I got this from my neighbor beside me. I got a bunch more over here that I need to plant. I just gotta put them in the ground. This is my little sitting area. I got my hammock strings. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Other stuff. I got some stinging nettle last year, and it was in pretty rough shape. I got like 2 tiny little twigs, but it's doing all right now. Nursed her back to health over the winter in a pot and was thriving, and then put her in here a few weeks back, and obviously I had the transplant damage, but she seems to be doing pretty well right now. And I haven't known what to put in this bed because it's shade for perennial, and then during one of my ceremonies I was introduced to stinging nettle and was like, man, that's perfect for so many things, and it's extremely medicinal for eating, for joint pains, for all kinds of different things. Here's another one of those water runs. This is, from what I understand, I don't know anything. I don't claim to know anything. I just hear things and often regurgitate them as knowledge. Here's my irises. I'd cut these back just because they already went through their bloom. Like I said, a million lilies. I'm really excited about this. This is my hibiscus. Again, everything got beat to shit in this hailstorm recently. But my hibiscus came back, which I'm super excited about because I didn't know if it was going to. The last one that I planted there did not end up making it. here's some of the lights that my buddy Stu made and I helped out with. I came up with the idea and came up with the materials, but he did most of the execution, and it came out awesome. This one and the one over on the other side, for whatever reasons, they don't work. I don't know if they got some moisture in them and it killed the bulb or what, but everything else works and it looks fucking awesome. So I'll make a video of that. Actually, I have one that maybe I'll upload. Here's some more roses. Some more rose bush. That one, I want to say, is yellow, if I'm not mistaken. It's got a lot of rose buds, but no actual open roses this year. This is the second year I have them, I think. This is some of my orange ones. I'm gonna split these guys at some point in time this year. I think at the end of the year. I'm not exactly sure. If anybody knows, if you can help me out with that, when to split roses and the best way to do that. I'm thinking that I'll probably use some root starter and just chop it in half and just go for it. I know a lot of this is pretty brutal. This is perfect. I got a bee. No, it just flew away. Oh, what's up, dude? Okay. Got embarrassed. It's kind of shy. So am I. This is a pretty big step for me to try and. Oh shit! Just stick down some stuff. Just make it a little bit harder to grow. I just planted a bunch of stuff in this bed yesterday. I got some tomatoes. I got. That's a big old gross fucker. Look at that. My friends and I called that a slimy dick. I'm guessing that's what it is, because those motherfuckers look gross. But it's fungus, so it's doing something. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe somebody can let me know. Slimy dick doesn't sound healthy, I know that. Yeah, I just planted a bunch of, I planted some tomatoes and some carrots and some other things in this bed. Let's see if I can do this. Over there between those roses, between those two, I planted something, and then between the lights I planted something else, and then over in between the blackberries on that side I planted some tomatoes. So I'm hoping that they grow. I know it's pretty late in the season, but with as wet as it's been and everything like that, I'm hoping that we get early snow. But even if I get something and it just gives the ground something other than weeds to enjoy, and hopefully I'll get some fruit in the meantime, in between time. It's more of that Russian sage, or not Russian sage. I want to get some Russian sage. There's a bee. Chicken coop that I built a few years ago. That thing is, we'll say, sturdy. There's a mess that was in/under the chicken coop that I haven't quite got to yet. I need to move that. I want to remove that tree. That might be a project for today or sometime soon. I'm not really sure, but I got the fence to contend with, which is not a huge obstacle, but not great. All this gating shit is just flopped here. Got my grandfather's San Pedro right over here. I'll come say hi in here in a little bit. Grape that I just planted. That was one of those store-bought things that I ended up letting sit around for too long, and was kind of hurting as it was, and then I planted it, and I don't know, I'm hoping that she makes it. I just took off all the fence panels along here, which a lot of my neighbors are like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? But it's going to allow for a lot of light back here. I've been wanting to plant This is the north side of my property, so I've been wanting to plant on this area or do something with it, but it just doesn't get any light at all. Obviously, well, not obviously, maybe obviously, maybe not. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't get a whole lot of light, and so it's been impossible. And it's really efficient at growing weeds, which is great for some things, but not for exactly what I'm trying to accomplish. I just hacked down a monster field of this. I don't know exactly what it's called. I want to say it's called like lamb's ear or some shit like that. I hear it's edible. I've never eaten it, but I've just been hacking it down periodically, so that way it keeps the soil and falls wherever it may, and does some sort of compost as well. Hopefully, doing something good. I just planted a bunch of stuff. I planted some watermelon seedlings and everything else like that. I'm not holding my breath for getting anything this year, to be honest with you. But if I do, that'll be super cool, man. Got a nectarine that needs a haircut. She's doing well. I want to say this is probably like 6th year on property or something like that. Heavily neglected, to be honest with you. All my trees have been, in a lot of ways, I've been trying to figure shit out and live life and half-ass gardening, and I'm learning that you can't half-ass garden. I mean, you gotta kind of do it, or you get a million weeds and unkept trees and no fruit and blah blah blah. This was a driveway. Like that whole concrete slab was like equal. There was a driveway here that I busted out a couple years ago. That was an adventure that wasn't necessarily fun, but also has allowed for a lot more room. There's some mint that I just planted or moved, whatever. It's my compost. There's like squash and zucchini and all that stuff that I just planted. Again, all seedlings, so we'll see where it goes. And come back to my floppy entrance here. This is San Pedro. How's it going? We got a bunch of volunteer Palisade. Got a bunch of volunteer Palisade peaches. I used to work at a sake company, and I'm gonna put all these back actually so we get more sun. Yeah, let's stiffen up a bit. Looks like I just need to transplant them. Yeah, I'm gonna do that today. Yeah, I used to work at a sake company, and they would process like 1 million fucking peaches for Suki's. It's another sake company that Colorado Sake Company actually produces all of their sake, but produces 1 million or I'm getting lost in thought because it's just process 1 million peaches, and I just composted a bunch of the pits and all the random shit, and got a bunch of volunteers. So that's what I'm trying to say. Nectarine tree. And a gate or a fence that I just flopped over to, because it was like all around, just kind of flopped stupid like around there to keep the dogs out, so I could have this like fire pit with the dogs not in my face. But yeah, I just opened that up and it looks like it feels way better. This is my peach tree. As I said, heavily neglected. I'm learning how to prune, and I think she's doing all right. But thankfully, I have a few more peaches, and I'm gonna attempt to root some stuff and start some new trees. This is my grapevine. This one's been here forever. You would think that this would actually be its trunk, but it is not. This thing has been trampled on and beat up and had this, what used to be a 2-car garage, dropped on it and all kinds of shit. This is horseradish. This stuff is pretty much invincible. I half-heartedly try and kill it every year, just to keep it back and give other things some space to grow and keep it in check a bit. I'm gonna fix this floppy gate today. Again, I just put all this stuff up and doing a whole lot of moving stuff around. Maybe I'll do some sort of, I don't even know if I have a thing that will kind of give, I'll see if I can find some shit to give an idea as far as what everything's been. I just did this little rock path dealio thing. More mint and purple salvia that I just moved all these rocks to get them over here. This right here I'm flattening out as best I can, so that way I can have like a little seating area. My thought at this point, I have this really big sunshade, and my thought is to run it across those two, there's Mama Bear, stretch things, and then bring it out to like here maybe. I don't know if it'll go that far, but let's see how much. These are the nuts. They're pretty cool. More of that stuff. This is where I just pulled a bunch of the lilies, the mint, and that purple salvia or whatever the hell from. And come around. This is another blackberry. She's been a gangster, man. She's had to deal with the moths, but I tried to transplant her and break her apart as much as possible, so that way I can kind of keep propagating her and let her thrive. I've tried to like completely move her, but she just keeps growing back, to be honest. So I just let her grow nice and big, and then try and move her, and she's like, no, I'll come back. This year I did not do that. I just let her grow. I just cut off a piece so that way I could move part of it right there. Seems to be doing pretty well. Obviously, I'm in the process of doing shit right here, but this is pile of trash that I haven't cleaned up good. As you can tell, this is all Just, well, maybe you can't tell, but you can't. Just boom, shit, trash. Back to the front of the house. And I mean, I guess that's about that.